Starting to the top right, we have the player in a 2-1 lead against his opponent. This is
LGIM MVP from Europe.
LGIM Jürgen, the European player, in the lead against his opponent to the bottom left of the map. In blue we have for Team Millennium.
Millennium for GG from Europe.
He's going for that GG. You know, his ID is always so funny to me.
Yeah, he goes for the GG in every single game.
When I watched his games before, and there was, only Korean commentary, and I watched him play StarCraft 1, and I just read everything online. You know what's so funny is, when I was younger, I don't even remember how old I was watching his games. I was much, much younger, like 15 or something. Maybe older than that, somewhere around there. And I thought his ID was Forg.
I actually wanted to say, like, we should call him Forg for an entire game.
I actually thought his ID was Forg, and I was like, well, he put 2 G's because he thinks that's cool. It never occurred to me that he would be 4GG until somebody said it out loud. I remember the first time I heard somebody say 4GG, I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. We had that in Warcraft quite a lot. And especially, these days, you always meet players offline, so it's much easier to talk to them or to get in touch with them. Back then, we didn't have a lot of offline tournaments. Everything was just online, and then you had the occasional tournament that was happening every couple of months where there were only a few players. So sometimes for years, you didn't know exactly how to pronounce a player's name, especially when he was Korean and you couldn't just straight out ask him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely remember that.
There's some funny things like that. It's always like when you're reading a book for the first time. I remember Harry Potter, man. Everybody said Hermione differently because all Americans don't use the name Hermione ever, so everyone's just like putting these weird pronunciations of her name.
That sometimes really annoys me, by the way. When you read a series and you love it, and you have your own pronunciation of the name, and then the movie comes out, and then you hear how it's supposed to be like, and you're like, no, that doesn't work for me. I've been used to this so long, and
well, yeah, I mean, that's just the kind of situation that can arise with strange names, but you have a faster CC here for 4GG, who has, again, switched colors on us a little bit.
Yeah, the scout now in the main base, or close to the main base. MVP trying to find out what's going on here, but he sees, of course, everything that is important to him. He knows about the CC, and the double Reaper at the beginning against this opening can do actually a lot of damage. It depends on when exactly the reactor is going to be dropped for 4GG.
Yeah, it really does. And if he drops it right at 50 gas, because he's going to have that very quickly with his double gases he added, he could be in trouble. This is the type of build I thought we were going to see from MVP last game. Did not show it to us. Instead, just went for the faster Widowmine drop.
He could go into additional Reapers now that he knows what's going on. And he gets the third one. And the fourth, he's really committing to this. And this can do a lot of damage. Against the build that we see from 4GG, it's definitely threatening. That's really threatening. We don't see a reactor just yet for the Terran player for Team Millennium. He's going straight into the factory. Let's see how he's going to defend against this. He doesn't have a lot of Reapers at this point in time.
Yeah, he only has 2. He's going to come in here, scout. He's going to delay the factory. And, with this much of a commitment into 4 Reapers, he has to do not only damage, but a lot of damage, because that's 200 gas spent, and that really, really delays his tech.
Yeah, 89 mining time already, and is starting to hit a few of those Marines and SCVs. Every shot counts, especially since he wants to buy some time for those 2 additional Reapers to come down to join the battle. And with 4 Reapers, you can do a lot if there is not an immediate reaction by your opponent.
Yeah, very true. Goes into the main base here, and got to get out of there. That was really close. He's not doing a whole lot except delaying mining, but
doesn't get actually the block here at the ramp. But 1 Reaper already down. He didn't actually think that there would be another Marine coming out of the barracks, but he's doing damage. He's killing SCVs and he's taking down Marines.
Yeah, he took down a few SCVs, some Marines as well. 4GG goes into the Hellbats this game. He decided that after not doing that in game number 2, or rather game number 3, he should do it again in game number 4.
I think it's a good idea. It's his style and he's successful with it, so why not do it? I mean, we joke a little bit about the Hellbats here, but still, if you're really successful with this style, you should definitely just stay faithful to it and try to get those results out there. So it's a very smart choice, and I completely mean it.
Yeah. Oh, one more lineup on those Reapers could be quite good for him. Good turnaround there.
Yeah, the Hellions definitely now becoming a bit of an issue, but with good micro you can do a lot of damage against the Hellions with the Reaper numbers that we have here. The bunker is not done just yet, and as I said, here comes the first Hellion being taken out. The combat drugs, of course, helping a lot, but that one Reaper got a little bit too overly friendly with the Hellion and has to pay for it right now. Being toasted, the combat drugs not enough to save him.
Notice that MVP starts to pull really, really heavily ahead in supply because he had... the main reason for this is because he delayed... There's two reasons. He delayed 4GG's natural mining, but the other reason is that he had the reactor on his barracks so early that he was making twice as many units constantly.
And he doesn't tech. He commits his resources to those triple barracks that he has, so he doesn't have a starport, he doesn't have that higher tech. MVP has a lot of army supply in the game at this point.
He knows that 4GG is likely going for a Hellbat drop. He's actually going to confirm that right now. And now that he sees the... Well, okay, I can't believe he didn't see the armory. Now he sees it.
Yep.
Now he sees the armory. He knows that this timing is going to be perfect against this because there's not going to be any siege tanks. There's probably not going to be any Widow mines, or very few.
He just killed an SCV, delayed a huge amount of mining time, and got away with just barely losing that last Reaper.
This bio timing might just kill 4GG. The question is, did MVP see that drop? I don't think he did.
Yeah, I don't think he did either, and this is becoming a problem because now MVP is really committing to this attack and walking all the units to the bottom left. There is nothing to defend in the main base. Well, a few units just coming now out of the barracks, and they can definitely assist. And the SCV is moving in, trying to make that happen, but the big story here is the attack at the bottom left. The MVP is now trying to crush the his opponent's defense with a stim upgrade that is just about to finish.
Yep, targeting that down with the Marauders. There's only 2 SCVs to repair. Guess what, 4GG, that's not enough. Nice split here by MVP, even with Hellbats dropped on top of him, doing a ton of damage.
Yeah, doing a really good job here, focusing them immediately. 4GG being in trouble, he could lose it right here, he could drop out of the tournament. MVP might be able to take the 3-1 victory, but he has to deal with this attack at the top right. The Medivac is doing so much with the healing powers here, and now we have Hellbats once again being dropped off to the units of MVP.
Yeah, he just keeps trying to use those Hellbats. The hit points getting less and less for MVP, and he's losing a lot of Harvesters back at home. Looks like 4GG actually may stabilize here.
Yeah, so many Harvesters killed. This drop is taking everything apart, but the big problem for 4GG are still those units at the bottom left. He doesn't have anything to defend against it, and he has to GG out of the game.
Yeah, he GGs. He doesn't have production. He has only Hellbats and Medivacs, and that's going to help you for a while, but eventually you're going to start to fall apart there. And MVP, he advances.
Yeah, MVP, he takes it, fighting for Europe and going now into the semifinals.
Look at how happy he is. This guy was king of Korea, thought he would become king of Europe for just a second, and then come back to Korea to become king of the world. That's what MVP is here to do. He already was actually world champion once in that world championship tournament. He beat Marine King with.
Yeah. And I mean, in this position, for him, this is actually now amazing. Taking this with a 3-1, a really quick series. Only the first game, that was the map that he dropped. MVP completely back to business here, going into the semifinals, and this is worth so much already. He's now guaranteed to win $10,000. And not only that, it's not only the $10,000, but in addition to that, he is at least 1,000 WCS points, which is a lot.
Yeah. And I mean, with that,
actually, it's 1,500. My bad.
With all those points plus the points he already got from winning WCS Europe, he's going to basically be guaranteed to get a spot. Basically,
yeah.
I mean, it's going to be hard to believe that he's going to flop out for the rest of the year.
It's basically it's the same like winning 2 DreamHacks. Yeah, that's what he just achieved by just entering the round of 4. Guys, we are having a break. Then we are going into the last match of the round of 8. We have another Terran versus Terran with Innovation being up against the Life. So stay tuned, and in a few minutes we will be back with our next TVT.